right, everyone. We've got another self-directed IRA Saturday coming on today. I want to thank everyone for joining here. We've got an exciting speaker here today with us. My name is Freeman White, and I am a junior IRA specialist here with Quest. And just before we get to it, let me just get started and acknowledge a few things for those of you just now joining us. All right, so it's important to understand the role that Quest plays when it comes to these investments within your self-directed IRA. For those of you new or unfamiliar to Quest, we are an IRA custodian. Like many brokerage firms, Quest accounts allow you to select investments that are attractive to yourself as the account holder. Because of the diversity that many of these assets in the account may hold, Quest offers many resources to educate as much as we possibly can. With that being said, Quest does not offer any tax, legal, or investment advice. All the information that you are about to see is essentially for educational purposes. Moving forward, we do have a few events coming up. We do have, for those of you interested in mid, short, and long-term rentals, we do have the rental continuum coming up in November. You are available to log on online or attend these events in person. The next event that we have coming up in November as well is QuestCon Live. For those of you looking for advice on alternative investing, we have our first women's only panel coming up. Tune in to see what these lovely women are doing to create change in the market in the world of alternative investing. And lastly, don't want to hold you all up. I wanted to phrase the question to you guys, right? We've got an amazing speaker today, but the question is, where do you want to see your retirement account savings, essentially? Or are you just getting started and think that these investments are only for those individuals with large savings? Or maybe you're an investor who currently has a large investment in your retirement account and are looking for a way to really invest the little bit that you have. Well, regardless of the stage in your retirement account savings, there is always a possible solution to grow your savings. Our speaker may have a few solutions for you. He's an Ohio attorney, with an active trial and hearing practice. Since '94, he has been investing in commercial and residential real estate. He currently represents established real estate investors and is recognized as a leader and teacher in the field of self-directed IRAs. He is very knowledgeable in wealth protection, but without further ado, I'd like to welcome our speaker for today, Jeff Watson. Hey, Jeff.
Good afternoon. Thank you for that introduction. It's always a pleasure to see you, Freeman. And I'm looking forward to this self-directed IRA Saturday. Yeah. So if you want, I'll just kick this thing right off. Just give me a thumbs up or whatever, and I'll kick this thing off and we'll just get rolling, okay?
I'll let you take it from there.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So, folks, let me dig into this. Just go a little bit here. We're going to get some things here. I've got to do this. This is incumbent to me because of my professional licensure. This presentation that I'm going to share with you today is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information with regard to the subject matter being covered. It is provided with the understanding that the presenter, that is me, is not engaged in rendering legal, accounting, or other professional advice. If legal or other professional advice is required, the services of a competent professional person must be acquired. So, folks, This is education and education only. And I do need to once again disclaim that I am an attorney licensed only in the state of Ohio. All right. So who am I? Some of you probably know who I am. Some of you are here because you want to see more of what I got to say. Some of you have no clue of who I am, and you're in for a little bit of a surprise and a shock. So let's just get into it. I'm a member of the Ohio Bar Association for now over 30 years. I serve as general counsel to a company called Real Flow in Northeast Ohio, National RIA out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Note School out of Dallas, Texas, and also National Wealth Builders out of Dayton, Ohio. I've been investing in real estate, both residential and commercial, since 1994. I'm a full-time practicing attorney. So I'm a full-time attorney and a part-time investor. I represent a lot of self-directed IRA clients. That is my favorite thing to do. Just yesterday, we did some deal docs for a lady lending some money out of her Quest Trust account. That's what I enjoy doing. All right. So a little bit more about me. I've been fortunate in my career to change the law in the state of Ohio 5 times, 4 times through litigation, 1 time through legislation. I've changed national housing policy 3 different times. I revolutionized short sale transactions back in 2008. I'm privileged and honored and humbled to be a member of the board of directors of Quest Trust Company. I have co-authored amendments to the Dodd-Frank SAFE Act and Truth in Lending called HR 3464, a bill pending currently in Congress to modify the exemption on seller financing to allow us to do more than 3 seller finance deals in a year's time without having to be regulated and licensed as if we were a large national bank. And finally, I've got a couple of real estate investing clients that have made the Inc. 500 list. In fact, RealFlow did that a couple of times, and some of my other clients have done it as well. So I have seen a lot of different things, a lot of different trends, a lot of experience, a lot of heartache, heartburn, and so on in the real estate space and such. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is something that is important to me, and so we're going to begin with the WIFM. You should be asking this question right about now, which is, what's in this for me? WIFM. Because folks, if I'm not relevant to you, then you don't need to be here. But I want to be relevant to you. I want to get right to it and help you overcome what I think is one of the biggest challenges that I see in the self-directed IRA space today. And that is, how do we grow a small dollar account? Basically, how do we do better than 10x an account? So let's get into this, okay? So we're going to overcome the small dollar dilemma in the self-directed IRA space. And I have had this question asked to me so many times. I've had people come to me and they do the EOR maneuver. You know what the EOR maneuver is, right? But Jeff, I can't really self-direct. I only have a few $1,000s in my IRA. And Jeff, I just don't know what I can do to grow it. Well, okay, let's get rid of the Eeyore out of your life. Let's get at least over to the Winnie the Pooh kind of happy, optimistic, let's make something happen attitude. And I'm going to show you some very specific, detailed, tactical strategies on how to overcome the small dollar self-directed IRA. And I'm going to tell you, one of the first things that you're going to have to do is you're going to have a conversation with the person you see in the mirror every morning. And I'm going to get a little preachy here, folks. You're going to get just a little bit of preaching on Saturday, normally saved for Sunday, okay? And I'm going to just say 2 statements right here, okay? Number 1, if you're spending more money every month on your automobiles than you're putting in your retirement accounts, you got a problem. If you're spending more money every month on your automobiles than what you're putting aside into your retirement accounts, your 401k, your Roth IRA, etc., you got a problem, okay? And now for those of you that are people of faith, I'm going to also tell you this. If you're spending more money on your automobiles than you're putting in your offering plate, then you and Jesus need to have a conversation. Now, I'm not against having money in cars. I'm just telling you, I put money into things that are going to last a lot longer than a car, okay? So, and oh, by the way, guess what? I have to go out and do some car shopping in the very near future, because the other day on the way back from Washington, D.C., driving home after I hit the airport, I totaled my car when I hit a deer. So yeah, and still a little groggy and soggy from it, but anyhow, here we are. Okay, so the investor's opportunity. In the middle of every difficulty lies an opportunity. And the difficulty that I want to challenge you to overcome today is, Jeff, I've only got a few $1,000s. I've got less than $10,000 in my IRA. How can I do anything with it? Because people won't let me do deals. And I'm going to tell you something. I was there. I was there. I remember going in and seeing a guy that did a lot of mortgage brokering and lending. And I was like, man, can I put my money to work with you? And I showed him what was in my retirement account. And he looked at me and he very politely, very gently said to me, Jeff, if you don't have at least $50,000, there's nothing I can do to help you. And at that time, I didn't have anywhere near $50,000. So I made it my life's mission, my life's purpose to find a way to grow self-directed retirement accounts with small dollar amounts. Now, I will tell you that I've taken as little as $300 and put a 10x on it. Okay, so I literally took $300 in one deal and I turned it over 3 grand. That's fine. Then I took the 3 grand, put it in another deal, and now that deal it's doing quite well. We're now literally I took the 3 from one IRA, took 3 from another IRA, put it together into a trust, and now that trust has got over 6 figures in it. So I took 6,000 and I've turned it over to 100,000. So I've done this. So I'm going to show you things that I do that grow my IRA, and they grow it pretty aggressively. All right. So let's talk about using your self-directed IRA to amass wealth, because folks, we need to stockpile wealth because someday we're going to want to stop working. Someday we're going to want to say, hey, listen, I'm not going to grind it out 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. And that day could be coming sooner than you think. So what I want to do is I'm going to offer you a step-by-step recipe processor system that's easy enough for a squirrel to follow. You all know squirrels, shiny object squirrels, to grow your wealth tax free. Because, folks, I want you to stop chasing the next shiny object, stop chasing the next guru. I want you to start doing. I want you to start making deals happen. So let's get into this. All right. So we're going to set, as we get into it, I want to set the stage. You've got a small dollar IRA, and we're going to overcome it by harnessing the power of 10 for 12 by using 3 simple steps. Step number 1 is you need to make sure you have a Roth account. You need to make sure you're using Quest Trust Company. Step number 2, this is where it's going to take some self-discipline. You need to make sure that you are making monthly contributions to your Roth IRA at Quest Trust Company. Consistent monthly contributions. Set it up to where it automatically happens at the same time every month. Folks, I have money that comes out of my paycheck every month going right into my Roth retirement accounts every month. Okay. And I'm blessed to be able to, because I've lowered my living expenses. I've been able to just start chunking away a lot more money. And then the third thing is, let's do rinse and repeat deals. Rinse and repeat deals. And I can't emphasize this enough. The power of rinse and repeat. Let me explain. I see way too many times an investor will do a deal, make money, and they go, great, now I want to go do something different. And I'm like, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Rinse and repeat. Streamline, systematize, do it again, do it again, do it again. And long as it keeps generating a good rate of return, keep doing it again. Then struggle to optimize it. Make it a little more efficient instead of trying doing something completely different where you might stumble, fall, bruise, lose your money, etc. Okay. So let's get into this. Okay. I want you to think about the 10 for 12 investment concept. Here's how it is. You're going to offer a landlord an $8,000 cash loan out of your Quest Trust account in exchange for 12 monthly payments of $800. We can do this with $8,000. We can do this with $10,000. We can do this with $5,000. We can do this with $20,000. It's the same principle, 10 for 12. Okay. If I give you $8,000, you're going to give me 12 payments of $800 a month. If I give you $10,000, you're going to give me 12 payments of $1,000 a month. If I lend you $20,000, you're going to give me 12 payments of $2,000 a month. In this scenario, the landlord that I'm lending to needs the $8,000 in cash. Why? HVAC unit just took a powder and they need to fix it and they don't have the reserves. The roof is leaking. The HVAC is taking a powder. They need $8,000 and they got to get it done. Okay. They may have a foundation issue at the house. They may have a plumbing issue at the house. They need the money. So the landlord gets the loan, but you're going to make sure that there's a solid deal foundation. The landlord has got a good rental property where it's pulling in $1,200 a month in net operating income from good units with decent tenants. So folks, you've got to make sure that your borrower, the person to whom you're lending, the landlord you're lending to, they have got to be a good, solid landlord with a good property in a good location with people that pay on time, that's going to generate the cash flow to overcome this problem, okay? To make the payments. Absolutely essential. Now, here are the documents that you're going to need for this deal. You're going to need a commercial promissory note. There's going to be a personal guarantee attached to that note. You're going to have a separate assignment of rents document so that you don't have to use the mortgage or the deed of trust that also has the assignment of rents. So you can just use the assignment of rents without having to begin the legal process that the courts would require through a mortgage or a deed of trust. You can just use a outside of the court process assignment of rents if you have to. So I'm showing you how to document, paper up, satisfy all of the requirements so that you're well protected. Now, to begin this process, you really want to understand the landlord and their business. You want to make sure that this is a one-time thing, that they got caught short, they need the little buffer of cash, and they're going to do it. Because if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't know how to manage property, you're not going to get paid back. If you're dealing with somebody that's a brand new landlord, you're going to struggle to get paid back. But if you're dealing with somebody that's been running rentals for a few years, they got caught short, still trying to catch up from COVID, and yes, some landlords are still doing that. This is where you can help them out, okay? All right, so let's do this. So you're going to have $8,000 in your beginning Roth IRA account balance at Quest Trust. You're going to make that loan for $8,000. You're going to receive back payments of $800 a month for 12 months. And while you're collecting those payments of $800 a month for 12 months, you're also going to be making a contribution out of your earnings of $500 a month into that Quest Trust Roth account. So you're going to make a contribution of $500 a month. That's going to be $6,000 a year. That's below the maximum. That's below the maximum. Everybody can do it. So you're pushing $6,000 in by virtue of $500 a month. You're also collecting your $800 a month payment from your borrower, the landlord that you lent the money to. All right. So what you've got is you make a loan for $8,000. You receive back $9,600 because you get back 12 payments of $800. 800 times 12 is $9,600. You have a gain, tax-free gain of $1,600. Right about now, I want you to pull out a financial calculator and do the calculation on that. Now, if you just use a regular calculator, it's going to give you an interesting rate of return. But if you know how to use a financial calculator, you're going to see a rate of return that is going to make your eyes pop and put a big smile on your face. Okay? So I want you to do that because this is where we're now beginning the snowball effect. We're making a loan of 8. We're collecting back 12 payments of $800 a month. We've had a gain of $1,600. We've also made contributions of $500 a month. So now we've got some working capital. So have anybody figured out what that rate of return is? Go ahead, calculate it, write it down, notate it, and let's move forward. All right. I'm just going to tell you, it's more than good enough. All right. So now at the end of that first year, we have got our $8,000 back. We've got $1,600 of interest income earned on it. We've made our annual contribution of $6,000 because we did it at $500 a month. So at the end of the first year, we now have $15,600 inside of our Quest Trust Roth IRA. Yay! Yay! We've almost doubled our money just by changing some habits and making one good investment. All right. So now what do we do? Well, obviously, we're going to go do another deal, but this time we're going to go do 2 deals. We started with 8. We earned $1,600 on the 8. We've made contributions of another $6,500 a month. So we're down to $15,600. Great. Good. So we're going to take that $15,600 and we're going to go do 2 more deals. All right. We're going to make a loan of $8,000, just like we did to one landlord. Maybe we'll make another loan to that same landlord. Maybe we'll make a different loan to a different landlord. And then we're going to make a loan of $7,000 to another person on the same terms. We're going to lend you out $8,000. You're going to give me back 12 payments of $800 a month. I'm going to lend you out $7,000. you're going to give me back 12 payments of $700 a month. So folks, we've left 600 bucks in the IRA, but we've got 15,000 out working now. So while we've got that 15,000 out working, you need to be working too. You need to continue making the contribution of $500 a month back into your Quest Trust Roth IRA. Now, folks, some of you are going to say, but Jeff, I only have a traditional. Convert it to a Roth because you need to convert it to a Roth because you're going to see the explosion that happens. But Jeff, I make too much money and I can't qualify for a Roth. Then do a backdoor conversion. People at Quest will show you how to do it. It's really simple. But Jeff, I don't make enough money in order to be able to afford $500 a month. Change how you spend your money because you've got a long life ahead of you and you need to build some retirement savings. This is a way to do it. All right. So after making the two loans that are out, we only got 600 bucks left in there. But loan number one for $8,000 returns again another $9,600. Loan number two of $7,000 returns back with $8,400. So we gained $1,400 on one deal. We gained $1,600 on another deal. We made contributions of $500 a month for 12 more months. That's $6,000. So at the end of year two, we now have $24,600 sitting in our Quest Trust Roth IRA. That is power. Folks, we started with 8, and at the end of 2 years, we've tripled our money. At the end of 2 years, we've tripled our money because we've done two things. We've made some good deals, and we've used good paperwork to do it. We've got a good strategy, and we've disciplined ourselves to start making $500 a month contribution. I'm going to tell you right now, you get used to making that $500 a month contribution. It's going to take you about 3-4 months to get used to it. You'll get accustomed to it. It'll just start happening on autopilot, auto rip, auto deduct, whatever it is, make it happen. All right. Now, what are we going to do then? So now we started with 8. At the end of the first year, we're at 15,600. At the end of the second year, we're at 24,600. So now we've got to go do a couple more deals, right? So let's see what we do. We got our balance of $24,600. So let's go make 3 more loans of $8,000 a piece. 3 more loans of $8,000 a piece. We've already done it before. We've got a cookie cutter. We can literally take the same documents that have been read and approved and processed by Quest. We can change the names. We can change the dates. We might change the dollar amounts. We're going to change the dates for the payments. We're going to do whatever we got to do to adjust it. But everything else is going to be pretty much already set there. And then we're going to use a new deed of trust or use a new mortgage with a new legal ad description and a different address. And we're going to get it all read and approved. And we're going to go. And we're going to fund 3 deals. And so we've got 3 loans out there, each of $8,000, each of them working on that same principle, each loan of $8,000 going out. Each one's getting back $800 a month for 12 months. $8,000 goes out, $9,600 comes back. And then we're also continuing to stay with our discipline plan of an extra $500 a month coming out of our paycheck, coming out of our savings, coming out of our bank account, wherever it has to. Maybe we got to do a little bit of a side hustle to cover it, but we're going to get an extra $6,000 of contributions into our Roth IRA. So then we're now through the year 3. We got 3 loans out working. We're making them contributions, and things are starting to really get rolling. Okay, so let's take a look. At the beginning of year 3, we were down to $600 because we made 3 loans of $8,000 each. All 3 loans for $8,000 come back. We now have gained $1,600 per loan. So we made a gain off the 3 loans of $4,800. We've made contributions of another $6,000. At the end of year 3, we are now at $35,400. Have we done any rocket science yet? Nope. Have we done anything super hard yet? Nope. Have we taken absurd risks? Nope. Have we lent money to people that we've done our due diligence on? Yes. Have we got the right paperwork? Are we using the right paperwork? Absolutely. What else are we doing? We're just making good loans to good people with good rental properties. That's what we're doing. And we're making loans on a term that makes sense for them and makes sense for us. All right. So at the end of year 3, We're up to $35,400. And then we're going to put it on a different graph. You can kind of see how this snowball's growing. 8 to 15.6 to 24.6 to 35.4. Boy, oh boy, now we're starting to get something. Let's take another look here, okay? So we're now in year 4, okay? And now what we're going to do is we've got $35,400 in there. We're going to make 2 more loans of $9,000 each. And then we're going to make 2 more loans of $8,000 each. So we're going to go put $34,000 out working, leaving the IRA balance after making all of the loans of just $1,400 until we start making more contributions. But we're going to make those 2 loans of $9,000. We're going to make 2 more loans of $8,000. We're going to continue to put our $500 a month into our IRA. We're not doing rocket science. We're not doing anything that's brain damage. We're not taking high risks. We're not looking for, the grand slam super mamma jamma hit. Nope, we're just doing base hit after base hit after base hit. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a fan of baseball and your team just hits a base hit after a base hit after a base hit after a base hit, it's hard to lose a baseball game that way. If you're a fan of football, and if your team just gets another first down and another first down and another first down, pretty soon they're in the end zone. They've scored a touchdown. So it's just consistency. It's not chasing some wild-eyed, crazy idea. It's consistency. It's routine. It's discipline. Okay. So now we've got 4 loans out working. We got a little bit of money sitting in the account, and away we go. So let's see what happens. All right. So we begin with just $1,400 left in the account because we've got 4 loans out working. 2 loans are at $9,000 each. They're bringing back $1,800 each in profit. We got 2 loans out for $8,000. Each of them is bringing back $1,600 in profit. So at the end, we've made $5,000 and $500 a month in contributions. So we've made kind of the contribution of $6,000. At the end of year 4, we're at $48,200 in our self-directed IRA. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yep, that's right. We're now making things go. Remember, we just started with $8,000 and now we're at 6 times that number. We're making things go. So we started with 8, we got to 15, 24, 35. Now we're at 48. Folks, if you're not getting excited, then your wood is too wet. Okay. Somebody's not been giving you the right nutrition. You've not had enough caffeine, whatever. You should be getting really excited about now because you're going to start to see something really interesting. Because I hope by now you're getting the picture. Or is it possible that I've blown your mind? Or maybe you're a little confused, brain must rest. Maybe you think you're following, or you could be in the go on, I'm listening crowd. That's fine. Any one of them. So the beauty of this is that Quest will make the replay of this available. You can pause this thing, you can back it up, you can do whatever you need to in order to work your way through this and really grasp these concepts. I'm trying to keep this as duplicatable, as simple as possible. All right. Now, here's what we got. Beginning year 5. Okay. We've got some things going on here. We've got $48,000. Okay. So we're going to go make 6 loans of $8,000 a piece. Now, can you change those numbers a little bit? Make 1 for 10 and 1 for 6? Yes. Are you locked into where you have to do one thing one way? No. But it's okay. I want you to just understand the consistency of this. The consistency, the consistency, the consistency. If you're getting tired of hearing me say the word consistent, then that means I'm getting the message across, okay? So we're going to make 6 loans at $8,000 each. We're going to be left with just $200 in the account until our next $500 a month contribution hits. But we've got all those loans out working. Those loans go out at 48. They come back at 57.6. We have made an investment gain of $9,600, and we are cooking. Now, here's the part I want you to see. The rate of return on your money is now generating more interest income than you're putting in the account by contribution. You're now at the point where your contributions and an annual basis are less than what you're earning on your money that's working. That is where I say we're over the hump. We are now on the right side of that hump. Okay, that's important. Now, let's dig in. Let's go a little further here. But I want to show you one little wrinkle. This year, because you're so excited, you're going to make an extra contribution of an extra 400 bucks. So we're going to put in 6,400 bucks this year. Okay, I'm going to squeeze in an extra 400 bucks because right now the limit's 6,500, but we're going to get in 6,400 on this 1 year. Why are we doing that? Because I want to just kind of like round some numbers up. Okay, so now what we've got is at the end of our 5th year, we're at $64,000. Have you noticed we went from 48 to 64? That's more than a $12,000 gain. That's a $16,000 gain. You made more money on interest than you made in contributions. That's fantastic. So now we're going to take that $64,000 and we're going to go out and do 8 loans of $8,000 each. And you're going to do the same thing over again. We're going to be left with just $200 in the account. Each of those loans comes back. They all return back at $76,800. The total interest investment gain was $12,800. We've made an investment of $1,600 per loan. We made a gain of that per loan. And at the end of year 6, we now have $83,000 sitting in our Roth IRA that is going to continue to grow tax-free. We're going to have $64,000. Or I'm sorry, we're going to have at the beginning of the year, and then we're going to at the end of the year, we're going to have $83,000. So this is moving. We're now getting some things to really happen here. Okay, so now we started with 8, then we went to 15 and 24, then we're at 35, we're 48, 64, and now we're up to 83. We're starting to see how these gaps are getting bigger. These things are moving. And so we're going to start year 7. We're going to start year 7 with $83,000. You can go make 10 loans of $8,000 a piece, leaving $3,000 in the account. Now, at this point in time, you have enough money coming back in on a regular basis that you don't have to wait to the end of the year to make all these loans. You're going to start having enough money coming in that you're going to be able to make a loan every couple of months. As you make contributions and as payments are made back into you, you're going to have money to go out and make a couple more loans just every couple of months, every couple of months. And that's going to be very helpful because it's going to really make your snowball really start rolling downhill and growing and accumulating and so on. But here's where we are. This is year 7. At the end of year 7, we now have $105,000 sitting in our tax-free Roth Quest Trust IRA account. We started with 8. We just did one deal. We just kept repeating that deal. We did one of those deals, then we did 2 of those deals, then we did 3 of those deals, and we kept repeating. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And so what we've done is we've systematically grown an $8,000 Roth account, which really you can't do a lot with. And now you've got $105,000 in your Roth IRA. And folks, that is going to be a game changer going forward. That is going to be a massive game changer going forward. Once again, you're still making your you're still making your monthly contributions to get your $6,000 a year in. Okay, that's important. That's important. You got to keep feed the beast. You got to grow it. You got to give it fuel to the fire. Okay, but you've now got where you made those 10 loans at $8,000 a piece, and all those loans come back, and you made $16,000 in interest income that year. We're really growing. Okay, now let me hit the next slide so you can see where we are. We went 35. Before we had 35, we were at 8, then we're at 15, now we're 35. We're actually 24 in there. Now we're 48, from 35 to 48. Then we're up to 64, 83. Now you see the kind of gaps that we're starting to see here, okay? From 83 to 105, we're talking about a $22,000 growth in 1 year. That is impressive. Now, we're going to begin year 8. And somebody's going to say to me, well, Jeff, I don't have that long. Well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You got longer than you think you do. We're going to make 13 loans of $8,000 each. So we're doing a loan a month now. We're doing a loan a month. And when we got to do an extra loan in that 1 month to make it all happen, we're fine. But we've got one a month now going out as a loan. And those 13 loans are going to go out and they're going to bring back the principal. They're going to bring in the interest income that comes with them. We're going to come back at the end of that year with $124,800 because we made interest income of over $20,000. And then we were making our annual contributions. So at the end of year 8, we're up to $131,800. We're up to $131,800. Folks, that's the kind of money that's going to start making you feel better at night when you're worried about retirement, because now you're going to have more money for retirement than the average American has. You're going to have a lot more money in retirement than the average American has, and you're going to have a lot more confidence because you're going to know how you can be able to grow that money and continue growing it. The confidence that's going to come to you because you've got a simple, repeatable, duplicatable process that will continue to feed the beast and grow. All right. So at the end of the year 8, we're up to $131,800. That is how this moves. So we're really taking off here. Now, I'm going to just wrap this thing up. I'm going to move towards the closing right now here, folks. I'm going to flat out tell you something. You can have results or you can have excuses. Every time I see that picture, that reminds me of a time where I knew I had a choice. I could either have results or I could have excuses. You see, I had made a commitment to speak at a group in Birmingham, Alabama. And prior to getting on the plane to fly there, I had a very bad fall and I messed up my right knee. I messed it up so bad that I had 3 non-displaced fractures, 2 torn ligaments, 2 torn meniscus. I was exhausted. I had a lot of pain and fatigue. I had a choice. I could have just said, can't do it. Can't do it. Instead of excuses, I made something happen. I showed up. I honored my commitment. I showed up and I taught. We had a successful event. I spent 90 minutes teaching from a wheelchair. It's not something I'll ever recommend doing again, but I did it. And so, folks, you have a choice as well. You can overcome the difficulties and power through those problems. Find a solution. Where did I get the wheelchair? I got it from the hotel I was at, speaking in their venue. Before that, I was limping. I was leaning on my suitcase and limping and gimping. Okay. So it's really that simple, folks. You've got a choice. You can be a warrior and build your retirement account so that you're not a worrier. I want you to be warriors, not worriers. I want you to take action. I want you to take and go forward. Get your Quest Trust account set up, commit to consistently funding it $500 a month, and then start looking for good landlords that'll borrow money from you on the terms we just talked about, where you lend them $8,000 and they give you back 12 payments of $800 a month. So with that, I'm going to say thank you. If you want to know more about me, please follow me at watsoninvested.com. Please follow me at watsoninvested.com. And this is pretty much the end of the presentation. So with that being said, let's see what we got for questions. All right.
All right. So the question is, how would you do a transactional lending on a wholesale deal right away? What documents are needed to protect ourselves?
Okay. First off, that is not what we talked about today. Secondly, I did not talk about transactional lending. But if you're going to do transactional lending, you're going to use the exact documents. You want to make sure that you have a promissory note with a personal guarantee, and you're going to want to have a note. You're going to want to have a mortgage or a deed of trust. And that is, I would insist on that, even if my transactional money is out just overnight, or if it's gone a week, it doesn't matter. I want a note, I want a personal guarantee, and I want a mortgage, because I may not record the mortgage, but I can if I need to. So that's how I would paper up a transactional lending on a wholesale deal. Note, personal guarantee, mortgage, or deed of trust.
Perfect. Are there any other questions that anyone else has for Jeff while we're here?
Rose, great question. Quest Trust is not allowed to give you legal documents, so you can either contact a local attorney, or if you want to, reach out to me and we can see if we can make something happen. But I would say, I tell you, start with a local attorney. That'd be one place to do it. If they can't be helpful, or if they're expensive, or if they're slow, then let me know. Okay.
I think that does it for the questions, Jeff. I think everybody here, let's see. We got one more that just popped up here. What's the smallest monthly contribution to make this effective? Is 500 the absolute floor for this?
The answer I would tell you is, what is the most that you can contribute? What is the most? The more you get in there, the faster it can work and the more you. If you go back and redo this whole presentation and you change the 500 to 250, you see it slows you way down. If you do it where you don't make any contributions, it takes a very long time to start getting that critical mass. So I would look at it and say the smallest monthly contribution that I'm going to make is the most that I can afford. And thank you for the compliment regarding the squirrels. I just try and do some things that are a little pattern interrupts.
Yeah, I think Lisa Harris says, how do you get started? I guess the first thing would be reaching out to us at Quest to get a self-directed account, huh, Jeff?
An account opened at Quest. The next thing is set up a plan to where I'm making consistent monthly contributions to that account. And then I would, if I've got money at another place that I can transfer in, I can roll over in, I would do that. And that's how I get started. Then the next thing is, while you're doing that, Lisa, start going to some meetups, start going to some RIA events, start going to other events that Quest has and anything else, and just start talking to landlords and finding out, hey, who needs some, I do small dollar loans. Who needs some money? Who needs some money? You know, I do 10 for 12 loans. And, you know, just explain it. Listen, I'll lend you 10 grand. You give me back 12 payments of $1,000 a month. I give you 8 grand. You give me back 12 payments of $800 a month. I give you 5 grand. You give me back 12 payments of $500 a month. And just explain it that way. And that's it. Those are the things you need to get started.
Absolutely, absolutely. If any of you guys have questions about establishing a self-directed IRA, I did put a Calendly link in the chat. We can speak to the types of accounts and the yearly contributions available that Jeff was speaking towards, and maybe answer any questions on these particular investments. I think we had one more question. I think that'll be our last question, Jeff. What happens if the loan defaults?
Excellent question. What happens if the loan defaults? Well, there's 3 things that are going to happen. Number 1, you're going to go back and change your underwriting standards so that doesn't happen again. Second thing is, you're going to use the assignment of rents, and you're going to notify the tenant that now, instead of paying the rent to the landlord, they're now going to pay it to you. And that's how you're going to get the money. When the landlord stops paying, you go to the tenant and say, now you start paying me. And if you discover that the landlord's let the property go vacant, well, then you've got a mortgage or a deed of trust that allows you to foreclose against the property and get the property back. Those are your things that happens if the loan defaults. And oh, by the way, you made the landlord borrower sign a personal guarantee, which means you can chase them for other things too.
Perfect, perfect. So we're talking secured notes.
I would only do this with a secured promissory note with a personal guarantee. Yep.
Perfect, perfect. Let's see. Um, I don't know if we discussed this here, but Emerald asked for your personal suggestion on how to screen for a good landlord. Any?
Okay. For really simple, 3 steps. Look at their properties, look at their rent rolls, look at their tax returns. If they won't tell you the address, forget it. If they won't let you look at their rent rolls, forget it. If they won't show you their Schedule E, part of their tax return, just forget it. Those are the 3 things that are going to help you screen. Do they have good properties? Are they taking care of them? Are they good properties in good locations? If they're not, no thank you. If they've got a rent roll that shows tenants consistently paying, good. If they've got a rent roll that says the tenants pay when they feel like it, then forget it. If they've got a rent roll then see if the rent roll matches the tax return as far as the gross income. Make sure their expenses aren't too high, and there you go.
Let's see. Questions just coming in. Let's see. Can you attach the loan to another property they own if they stop paying?
Okay, I got to turn off the lawyer brain and turn on the educator brain for this. Could you attach the loan to another property if they stop paying? If they stop paying, and you then have to go all the way through the foreclosure process and you get a judgment against them based upon the promissory note and the personal guarantee, then any lien that you have would attach to all the other properties that they would own in their own name. When you're making a loan at the beginning, before they would, if you're worried about them not making the payments, if you're really worried, if they're like a new landlord and you're going to take a chance on them and they've got more than one property, then get a lien against more than one property. Say, listen, you don't have enough equity in here to make me feel comfortable. So I want to lean against not just the property that you're using the money on, but I want to lean against another property as well. You could do that. Okay. But in order to attach the loan to another property after they stop paying, you're going to have to go through the court system. If you do it when you're making the loan, then you can just simply say, listen, I need a lien or deed of trust or a mortgage against 2 houses, not just one.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the Q&A, Jeff.
Cool beans.
Thank you for really giving us all this valuable information. I hope everyone takes the time to get things going and make the best of their retirement account savings. We all want to be very proactive after watching this video, I hope. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Jeff. There are some links. Of course, this information will be available on our YouTube channel. If you have further information on or questions on wanting to set up a self-directed IRA, please use the link that is in the chat to do that. We could get you rolling and help you to make these yearly contributions to be used for investments like we've just learned about today. So
Yep.
Thanks again, and everyone have a good rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you guys again.
Peace. Watson out.